Hey, what is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I be. Good Doc, Dr. Mike TV, back again. Once again, instant classic in the making, ladies and gentlemen. First time to the channel, guys. Y'all know what to do. Make sure you get the likes up, subscribe, notify, do all the things to make yourself well versed in the Good Doc's content. Anything you should need to know about yours truly should be listed in the links in the description area below. All right. I do not wish to mince words. I definitely wish to rip this one off like a band-aid. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to discuss a few reasons why your favorite expat, your foreigners, are likely to go broke when moving abroad within the first 6 to 12 months of traveling abroad. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about myself. I am probably one of the biggest advocates of moving abroad. With all things considered, that's always been my passion. I've always had a passion for traveling. Haven't been able to do it very much. Of course, a lot of us haven't been able to do it very much, but I've often just had a passion for wanting to see different cultures and be a part of a global society, more so than just living within one particular society that is made up of that of the United States of America. Spent a lot of my time in the United States, probably more time than I care to admit. And you know what? I've gotten to the point where I'm ready and willing to go ahead and travel abroad. And I think a lot of you guys are to that particular point as well. But I wanted to talk to you guys real brief about some of the ways or reasons why foreigners, yourself, myself included, go broke when they actually decide to move abroad. Now, a lot of you may be familiar with this particular saying. Some of you may not. I know a lot of my older gentlemen who watch the channel. Big salute, big love to y'all. There's a phrase out there that says, when you get a little bit of money, you try to keep up with the Joneses, right? And in that particular phrase, what they're saying is, you make a little money, you're trying to do the things that you, of course, couldn't do when you didn't have money. So imagine taking that particular mindset overseas, abroad, anywhere. And most of these are countries abroad, the ones in which we're choosing to opt to live in, the currency exchange rate is definitely within our favor. So when you are able to live a lifestyle that you could not live in the United States or whatever foreign country you're from, and you have a lot more money to your name, a whole lot more money than you had in your own foreign country, you tend to have these tendencies that have you spending money like nobody's business. Now, the fact is, dollars to pesos, if you're still looking at things in the dollar reference, oh, that's only $20, that's only $5, that ain't shit. As opposed to looking at it from its peso value, 500 pesos, 1,000 pesos, instead of 10 or $20, you'll start to understand, damn, bro, I just spent 1,000 pesos as opposed to, I just dropped a dub, man. What do I really care about? So when we talk about the phrase of keeping up with the Joneses in reference to why foreigners continue to go broke abroad within a year of actually getting there, they're just running out of money. They're just literally running out of money. And that reserve that they thought was going to make it last, or the reserve that they thought that they were going to make last for them, slowly starts to diminish and deplete very, very rapidly. And if you don't catch yourself before it gets worse, guys, you're going to find yourself looking real crazy, especially if you have to take yourself back to the United States with your tail between your legs, and your family members or anybody who was talking shit about, yo, you ain't gonna make it abroad, you finally proved them right. There's no worse feeling in the world, which is why a lot of guys opt to stay in the Philippines or stay in these foreign countries broke, begging and doing all of this extra shit, because they refuse to accept the fact that they want to go back home, and they refuse the fact of getting help from somebody back home, and they also refuse the fact of letting people know that they were absolutely right about them. So reason number one, you try to keep up a lifestyle that you weren't living when you were in your own home country. You try to bring that lifestyle to, these foreign countries abroad, which definitely leads to you guys going broke at a rapid rate. Now, the next one, this one here is somewhat controversial. I'll admit, I will admit, some people are going to agree. Some people are going to disagree. It's okay. That's why we have the channel, and that's damn sure why we have the comment section below, which I encourage you guys to partake in. Yes, it should be made available so that you guys can comment on the particular subject matter. But the second reason a lot of you guys go broke when moving abroad within like the first year of moving abroad is you leave the matrix too soon. Now, I know, guys, I know, Doc, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? We got to get out of this rat race, man. We got to get out of this wheel, man. We're going to find ourselves effed up. We're going to find ourselves running this rat race, man. I'm tired of this shit. I'm trying to get abroad. I got that. But sometimes a lot of us leave the matrix too soon. A lot of us believe there is no such thing as leaving the matrix too soon. But for some people, such as myself, I believe there is a such thing. Now, let's talk about the matrix from my particular perspective and opinion. Because again, everybody's definition and version of it could be different. You can agree or disagree with my version of it. It should be more in line with everybody else's, but maybe my differential way of thought process and thinking about it is where we might differ. That's why the comment section is there. So for me, the matrix is, living that life, and they give us just enough money to work a job to keep us coming back the next day and constantly getting up and doing the same routine constantly without no end in sight. It's the continuous rat race, running the hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it. 100%. But some of us, myself included, we have a goal, a plan, and a mission. 3 things: goal, plan, mission, as to how we're going to get ourselves in a financially stable situation to get us out of the matrix when the time is right. Some people have gotten to the point where they're so fed up, they just get out of it, and they believe that, oh, I just had to get out of this. I was finding myself in a bad place mentally, and I got that, and I understand your reasonings behind that. But sometimes you leave it too soon, and when you leave it too soon, what does that mean? You leave a lot of potential money on the table. Guys, moving abroad, you're not likely to find a job that is probably going to pay you better than the job that you probably have right now overseas. Okay. If you try to do that exact same job overseas in certain places, you're likely going to take a third or less. I mean, you're probably going to get paid a third of what you probably were getting paid in the United States, or even a cut less, trying to do the exact same thing if you are able to get a job in that same field. Note that. Also, if you try to get into a job abroad, chances are, we talked about this in the last video, working abroad, sometimes it may or may not work business wise. All right. Maybe there's a way that you can get it to work for you, but sometimes it's easier said than done that trying to find a job should be the last thing on your mind when you're moving abroad. But some of us are in such a rush to get out of there. We're just willing to accept anything that can put some change in our pockets. But are we really happy? Are you really happy? You escaped the matrix. Awesome. You're fucking going. You're good. But now you have to take a job as what? ESL teacher, English as a second language teacher. No disrespect, because I have my TEFL, my teaching English to learners of foreign languages. I have my TEFL certification. So that was just something I had on the back burner. So you know that. I'll just let you know that. Some of us have our ESL certifications. There's nothing wrong with having it. But is that really going to be sufficient enough for you to, like I said in the last video, sustain yourself abroad? Is it going to be sufficient enough to sustain yourself abroad? If not, I'm under the assumption that you left the matrix too soon. And a lot of people will say, Doc, there is no such thing, but there is. When you leave all this money that could potentially be earned on the table, just because, how can I say this? Just because there's just something, you just gotten to the point where you're fed up, I guess. And you just have to leave. You have to understand what you're leaving behind. And if you try to live that keeping up with the Joneses lifestyle, or you think I'm just going to barely scrape by penny pinching to my last dime or down to my last centavo, bruh, is that really living? That's my question to you guys. Is that really living? I don't just want you to survive abroad. I want you to thrive abroad. Say that one more time for those in the back room. Say that one up. Somebody say that one to all of my fellas out there in the nosebleed section up there. I'm not wanting you to go to the Philippines or abroad to just survive. I want you to thrive abroad. I want you to be able to flourish. I want you to be able to live your best life within your means. That can mean different things for different people. Hand on Bible, man. My version of living a good life in the Philippines or living a good life abroad may definitely differ from yours. All right. So I'm not saying that we're all on the same page. And again, my statements may be controversial. Some of y'all might be like, Doc, you done lost your mind. There is no such thing as leaving the matrix too soon. But there is. Especially if there's money to be made. If you have a goal, a mission, and a plan, ladies and gentlemen, a plan, a mission, and a goal. I forgot how I said it earlier in the video. There is a such thing as leaving the matrix too soon. Because I can sit there and stack my cash like a lot of us are doing right now. We can't travel. We're kind of stuck. So rather than bitching, moaning about the fact that we can't leave, let's go ahead and get our money right so when the time is right, we can leave. Doc made a bold prediction, man. I told y'all, man, in about was that about the second quarter? Yeah, I said about June or July, summertime, U.S. summertime, we going to be able to travel again. I said it and I'll say it again because until that time comes, I'm going to hold on to my prediction. They over here vaccinating folk. They out there giving folks shots and shit. So it's like, the opportunity is there for you to make the money now. Don't play games. I say go balls to the wall. I say go full speed ahead and get that money. Stay on your grind. Stay on your pivot. Stay on your purpose. A lot of people say that. But what tends to happen, and you hear it a lot, guys. You hear it more often than not. Foreigners going abroad, trying to live their best life, and they just go broke within 6 months to a year of being there. It's sad. Then you find yourself begging. Yo, can you help me? Yo, spot me some. Ain't nothing worse than a foreigner that begs on other foreigners in the Philippines. And I've had that happen. There's nothing more embarrassing in my personal opinion than when you have to ask a foreigner you've never met or another guy who just touched down in the Philippines, not just like through YouTube or anything, but I'm talking about a foreigner that's physically there. Yo, can you help me? For what, man? It's sad. And if it gets to that point, man, you've got to tuck your tail between your legs and realize, look, maybe you just weren't ready for this. Maybe this just wasn't the right time. Maybe you left the matrix too soon. Maybe you were trying to keep up with the Joneses and it just didn't work out. That's okay. But don't sit there and just try to beg your way through it. Come on, man. You gotta have a little bit more self-respect than that, you know. And a lot of us, myself included, I got way more self-respect than to sit there and try to beg on somebody I don't know, you know, just because I'm trying to prove a point that I can make it abroad. I didn't leave the matrix too soon or anything like that. So if you ever want to know why, those would represent my top 2 reasons why I believe foreigners go broke in the Philippines sooner rather than later, within the first year or so or 2 years or so in the country. If I'm lying, I'm flying, ladies and gentlemen. That's just based on opinion. I ain't backing this up with no stats. This is just what the good doc has seen with his own experiences living over there. And this is what I've seen and heard a lot of people talk about in reference to some of the reasons why they believe other foreigners go broke quickly whenever they first go abroad. It's like your NBA players or your athletes who go broke within the first 2 years of, you know, retirement or some shit. It's the exact same thing. Except for they were living a lavish lifestyle. They're trying to keep up that lavish lifestyle while living in the United States. What you're trying to do is take yourself out of a situation where you weren't used to that lifestyle, try to give yourself that lifestyle abroad, and you're trying to make it happen for yourself, and it's just not happening, bro. It's not happening. And maybe that's just me and my young man mindset, man. Maybe it's just me. That's the reason why I feel like there's so much money to be made here. And why I am accepting of, ready to, and willing to stick it out for as long as I possibly can, invest as much as I possibly can, get on my grind, stay on my pivot, and then get the F out when the time is right. I'm there. I told y'all once before, you may think I'm crazy, and I'll tell you again, I'll say it again, and you can put my hand on the stack of Bibles and it probably won't change. If I can make $1,500 to $3,000 a month through my investments consistently, I will be going. That's my ultimate goal and mission. That's just personal. However it works for you, different. I would say 3,000 to 5,000, but you know, I don't really need that much. But it's just from a personal standpoint. At the low end, 1,500 to 2 grand with savings, of course. If I can bring that in consistently every single month, close to about 3 grand. I'm aiming more so for the 3 days because I really have to have 3,000. I don't know what it is about the number of 3,000, guys. Mr. 3,000. Y'all see the movie. If you haven't watched it, Bernie Mac, God rest his soul. Anyway, 3,000 is my number. I don't know why, guys, but that's me. If I can get that, I'm solid, man. I'm golden. I said, I'll be going tomorrow. I promise you. And you know what's sad? It's probably not as hard as you think to consistently make that type of money because people are doing it all the time. Matter of fact, people are clearing $10,000 a month. You know, it's just a matter of finding what my thing is, finding what it is that I could do, seeing it work for me for about 6 months to a year, consistently saving up that money. And then if I know that it'll work for me, then I'm going to retire, whatever it is I'm doing, and I'm gone, man. It is what it is. So stay on your grind, stay on your pivot, ladies and gentlemen. Just make sure you listen. I want you to hear the words. Never leave the matrix too soon. Not until it's time. I don't want you to drag your feet trying to make an additional dollar if you've already made it. Because a lot of people fall into that trap as well. You drag your feet. You're like, oh, just, yo, man, one more year, bro. One more year. That's an extra 100K. One more year, man. That's good investment money. One more year. You find yourself in that rat race that way. And sometimes that doesn't help you as well. So you have to know when to hold and when to fold. I don't want you to leave too soon, but I damn sure don't want you to leave too late. You have to find your number, what number works for you, what number's comfortable for you. Keep it pushing and stick with it. Plan, mission, goals. Understand that, you'll always be good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, talk too much. This has been a good Dr. Mike TV. Appreciate y'all time. If you enjoyed the video, man, y'all make sure y'all get the likes up. Make sure you subscribe, notify, do what I need you to do to grow the channel, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, good doc, officially out, at least Nicole. Which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahal kita. Bye-bye. Peace.